Yeah, hello and welcome to my 2 days hands-on of the Edelkrone Modula on tripod rig system. To be precise, this one is the first part of a series of reviews about the Edelkrone Modula rig systems because, yeah, I jumped into the cold water and invested nearly my whole savings on a Modula 7 rig system. And so I can show you, for example, with twister shoulder pad, I can show you with pro handles, and I can also show you, and this is maybe the most important point for many people out there, I will show you a cheap option to mount a bigger shoulder pad, a bigger cheap shoulder pad to a Modula 1, 3 or 5 rig system, for example. And to add, so you also have, for example, the option to add cheaper counterbalance weights, which is also very important with the Modula series, because without counterbalance weights, it's maybe too front loaded or too front heavy, to be, let's say it this way. And the second point I want to mention is you maybe wonder why I'm making this part again new. Yeah, the old part was a little bit too long for the amount of information. And I also got, for example, the standard plate, which is kind of better compared to the pro plate, I recognized. So I thought it's maybe better to make a new video instead of adding a ton of commands to the old video. And I also recognized the issue with the rods, and so yeah, it's maybe also interesting for the guys out there who already know the old version of this first part. And yeah, so let's begin. As you can see here on the left side, I have both plate systems. We are maybe already known pro plate system and we base standard plate system. And to say it short, if you have a normal big video camera or a bigger video camera, use the pro plate. If you have a DSLR camera, use the base plate. And here I will tell you why. Here you have the option to use a 3 to 8 inch screw. Here we only have a 1/4 inch screw, for example, but here is also this, as you can see here, here's also a 1/4 inch screw included, so you can use both screw types. Here you have a more even padding, although it's a little bit smaller. For example, because for example with the pro plate here was the problem with my GH2, for example, that here is the padding even, or it's a bigger padding on this side, and here is a very small padding. And the problem is, for example, if you're positioning your camera to here, for example, to the front, so you have more space for your full focus or your lens support, for example. The problem is that if you screw it down, your whole camera and so your whole picture is a little bit uneven, and so you have to compensate this with your tripod or with your mounting on your rig system, and this is really annoying, I have to say. Although here you have the options, for example, if you're using a FS100 or whatever, because this one is better for such a camera because it has a little bit bigger padding. You can adjust it to the back, to the front, and you can also adjust it to the side. For example, if you loosen these two screws here, and so this one is better if you're using a big camera. Although there is also a problem with this rod plug. I will show you in a few seconds. As you can see here, I want to show you this before. Here you can only adjust it a little bit to the side, which is also quite nice because, yeah, maybe you're using an adapter or you're using a camera system which is a little bit offset, so you can adjust your camera to the side for your mat box, for example. And so this is also quite nice. And here the pro of this standard plate is that these two paddings are even, and so you don't have a problem with a GH2 or with a DSLR body, which you have with this pro plate here. And this one also has a pro, and this I wanted to mention before. Here you have, for example, these are the back parts, and here are normally the lenses on this side. And the problem here, if you want to mount it for this quick release plate, for example, directly on this rod block here, the problem is that here you have the screw. As you can see, you have this knob here for which is the limiter for the modular standard plate, which is going to the back to the shoulder pad, for example. I mean this part. And here you can see you have a much bigger space where you can fixate the plate on your on your base plug with the screw here. And here you have this hole from the screw which isn't compatible, or the screw isn't holding if you're inside this hole here. And so with this plate here, you always have to mount it exactly. You have to see, where am I? Position it a little bit to the back and then screw it down. And then it's holding very stiff, and it's usable this way. But you only can mount it in this position. And for example, here you have, space. Twice with space, or more than twice with space. And you can mount it, for example, here. Okay, now I screwed it too much out. Yeah, let's say you can mount it more to the front, you can mount it more to the back, as you like. You don't have to see where am I, because you can mount it here, for example. You can mount it here, you can mount it here, here, and so if you are ordering, for example, this modular on tripod rack system, it's be best to order with standard plate and not with pro plate. And I don't know why Edelkrone isn't showing more information about this pro plate here, because it's very nice if you're using a big camera. But for example, for me, the pro plate isn't useful because, as said, because of this small padding here, because the image is offset then, and it's mounted uneven. And yeah, as you can see, it's very nice and it's very easy to unmount. And yeah, to summarize it again, DSLR, standard pro plate, bigger camera, standard camera, for example FS100 or another camera, use the pro plate or get the pro plate. Or let's say if you have a camera which needs a 3 to 8 inch screw mount, you also need the pro plate. But let's get to the rod plug here. As you can see here, you can mount the quick release plates, you can mount the base system of the modular rig, and so it's very universal. So because you can let this one, for example, on your tripod, remove the modular rig, remove the quick release plate and mount it here, and that's it. And you have your small, very compact rod support here. So it's very easy to use. It's very comfortable to use. You can also adjust the height, but you need an Allen screw here. So it's not that flexible, for example, and easily adjustable compared to a LAN port or a Genie or whatever, or a Genus or how it's called, or whatever base block you're using. But it's adjustable in height, so you can adjust it to your mat box. If you only need it for your mat box, and that's the main reason for this function, I think it's not that of a big problem, because you normally adjust it only once. Because your lenses are getting bigger and smaller, but the offset of the lens is normally always the same. As you can see here, there are also a few mounting options, 2 3 to 8 inch screws and 1 1/4 inch screw hole. So it's mountable it's very flexible to mount. And here you can see 2 screws and here 2 screws. And if you remove these screws here, you can also exchange with rods, for example, to carbon fiber rods. And here is the point I mentioned before. This is the second point why I'm making this again. I had an issue with this rod. To be precise, I got 2 accessories which were quite cheap, and maybe because of this fact they are not the most precise ones. But I had the problem that I mounted them and they were still slipping, although they were screwed down completely, really. And so I thought, are the accessories defect, or is there a manufacturing error maybe? But then I tested, for example, this LAN port rods here, for example, and it was completely stiff and there was no slipping. Then I also tested it with carbon fiber rods from the Raven I also have, and also no slipping. And yeah, maybe there are 2 options. Maybe the coating is too slippy, which is maybe one aspect. And the next point is maybe that the rods are a little bit, only a little bit too small in diameter. And so if you're plan to buy the modular rod block, or a modular on tripod, modular 5 or whatever, where you want to use the rod block, also plan or maybe calculate at least to get alternative rods. because it's not that of a problem to exchange them. I said you only have to unscrew these small screws here and put in your carbon fiber rods, whatever you want to add, and yeah, it's not that of a problem, I think, if you need to exchange them. Although it's a little bit annoying, I have to say, because the rods are have a very high quality. The coating is very sturdy. It's very scratch resistant. They are also extendable to the front, as you can see, for example, and to the back. So you can also use this with standard DSLR rig accessories. You can extend, for example, to the back, add a standard shoulder pad, add a standard counterbalance weight, and you're ready to go. And you still have very nice Edelkrone and very flexible Edelkrone parts in use. But yeah, as said, calculate to exchange them. Now it's also very nice because now you also can get the rod extensions within the Edelkrone shop. I don't know if they are the same like we LAN part, not completely the same. So I think it's better to order the original extensions if you want to have them. Yeah. As you can see here, this is the last point, and this is a little bit of a con, and this is the point why I ordered the bridge system to test a little bit, or to experiment a little bit with alternative base blocks. The whole rig system is only held in place by this one screw. So if you're adding very much of weight, or for example, if you want to add your counterbalance weight system while it's mounted on a tripod, or if your rig system is already at 7-8 kilograms or so, all is lying on this one screw. So this is a bit of a con, and I think this is a point which is maybe getting a faulty point within a few years or so, especially if you're mounting and unmounting your rig system very often. So yeah, keep this in mind, that this one screw is holding everything. Yeah, so let's get to the EVF, external monitor, display, whatever holder. As you can see here, it's very easy to adjust. You can adjust this holder here, which is also adjustable to the front and to the back, to the left, to the right. You can also mount 1/4 inch accessories beneath, for example, HDMI splitter, audio splitter, whatever, a mixer, for example, or external battery holder, even an external battery holder. And this the very nice point of this rod here is that you also can mount a standard accessory. As you can see here, for example, you can mount this one here. So you don't even need to use this holder here. For example, you're losing this screw here, not that of a problem. You can mount this one here, display on top, and that's it. So this is one of the nicest display holders I know, especially because you can also adjust it, for example, the angle of it. You can position it to the top, you can and change this one to the front, for example. You can also adjust the offset of the holder. And so it's very, very, very nice. Also, if you want to use it only with your DSLR body directly, for example. And this is my new dummy, to be precise. It's a F65 I got for 20 bucks. And as you can see, you can also use it directly on your camera without the rod system. And so you can use it, for example, also for your photography, or if you're on the go and not using the rod block, or if you're using, for example, I can, for example, a Calman Cruiser, which is also very nice, and I will make a review of it soon, so stay tuned. So you can use it, for example, also very flexible, and you can adjust it as said. But always keep in mind, and this is very important, that if you're adding a very big monitor here, you're adding weight on your hot shoe, and don't expect that your hot shoe is carrying that much weight. So if you, I don't recommend to use very, very big monitors on it. Yeah, or let's say, be patient while handling your camera system while everything is mounted. Or you can also try to mount something on the right side. And here is the next point I want to mention. One point to the holder, you can also loosen it up a little bit if you loosen this screws here, so it's a little bit easier to turn. But the standard, damn it. Okay, but the standard sensitivity of it is normally okay, so you don't need it. need to adjust it. And here we come to the accessory, shoe or hot shoe accessory, or whatever, however it's called. And this one is very nice because you have a replacement for your original hot shoe here. You can mount it here, for example. And the very nice point of it is you can adjust, for example, the direction of this hot shoe here as you like. For example, especially if you're using a microphone, for example, the video mic or so, or another shotgun mic. It's very nice because you can adjust your mic in direction. And it's also very nice because, as you can see, you can mount it here, for example. And you can use a coin, which is also very nice. And you have rubber here, so it's not slipping. And the very nice point is you can also adjust it, for example, to the front, to the back, as you like. And so, for example, if you have a LED light with no ball joint mount or so, which is adjustable, you can mount it here and adjust the angle a little bit to the front, so the LED light is a little bit heading to the floor and not straight ahead, so for example, only. And so this one is a very nice accessory. And if you intend to use accessories, you can also plan, or you can also buy 2 or 3 of them, because they're also usable with the modular rig systems. And so you can mount, for example, your accessory anywhere on your modular rig system. Yeah, I let it mounted now. And yeah, I will now show you, last but not least, we mounted. But I will remove this first, because it's as you can see, it's a little bit risky to have it all the time on your DSLR body. And here is also a little bit of a con I forgot to mention of this plate here. You always have to look, where am I? With the Pro plate, you always have your position you fixed already. For example, with the screws here, you only can adjust your camera, sorry, to the front or to the back. And here you always have the option to adjust it to the side. So it's a little bit annoying, but I think not that of a problem. And as said already, it's much better. And you can see here, it's now even mounted. And okay, I screwed it. I didn't screw it down completely. And normally, if you screw it down properly, yeah, it's holding very tight, and so it's you don't have your lens turning, which is often a problem with cheaper or with many, let's say it this way, quick release systems or rig base blocks. And as you can see, it's a very nice and also very compact set. And it's, as you can see, I used the standard plate. And yeah, I can also add accessories, as told. And as you can see, it's a very nice rig system. And yeah, it's a very flexible rig system. And it's very easy to unmount everything and to adjust it as you like. Yeah, I think that's enough for the first part, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Yeah, as said, there will come additional reviews, hands-on, whatever, about the Modula 1, 5, 7 Pro handles and so on, and the bridge system, which is actually not available. So stay tuned, subscribe if you don't want to miss this new videos. And yeah, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask, and I will try to answer as far as I have the time to. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Bye.